Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to Truthseekers, where we explore some of the strangest and most mysterious stories on planet Earth. Tonight, we're going to be starting a new series that is centered around the world's most mysterious places. I could think of no better place than Japan's legendary suicide forest. It's actually named Aokigahara. It is in Japan, and it is commonly referred to as Japan's suicide forest because of the number of people who go into this forest to commit suicide. Strangely, the Japanese government even has people whose full-time job it is to go into the forest and counsel people who were there to commit suicide. There are also employees whose job it is to remove the corpses of people who were successful in their suicide attempts in this forest. I'm fascinated by this forest, and there's also a lot of strange anomalies. Cell phones stop working while you're in there. GPS signals don't exist or get lost once you enter the forest. There are strange scientific anomalies all around and in this forest. What is it about this mysterious place that draws so many despondent or depressed people into the forest to take their own lives? Oh, now I'm getting a message. Oh, listen. Friends, we were going to do this show some time ago with one Jason Quitt, but being that he's a multi-dimensional time traveler, I guess he was off in another dimension and he forgot about me in the show that we're doing tonight for some 3 weeks. And I just got a message from him. 1 second. Let me just copy him the link. This is one of the great parts about having a live show is that once in a while, we can have a surprise guest. Jason Quitt was actually our first guest on our very first episode of the show. So I suppose it just kind of fitting that we can welcome him. The reason that I wanted to do this show with him is because he's actually been to this place and seen it for himself. It's a crazy story. I wanted to get his input because he's actually an eyewitness to this place. He's been there in person, and I don't know anybody else. It's always strange to me that Jason Quitt is somehow at the epicenter of all kinds of strange paranormal things like this suicide forest. 1 second. Here we go. Jason. Jason is here. There he is. Jason Q. Do you want me to change that, or is that what you want to be called? Jason Q now?
Just for this show.
Just for this show. Uh-oh. I think that Steinberg guy might be pissed off at you. Isn't he supposed to be Q?
Well, my last name is Quitt, and,
Okay.
So I've had that initial since I was born.
Yeah, so you've been really busy. You became an honest man and got a real job or something, right?
I mean, I've always had a job outside of this.
But like a real job? Like you show up 9 to 5 in an office, like a real job?
No, not a real job. I was usually working with graphic design and some projects in video and sound.
But I know you've been very busy and you've been invisible. I thought you were off in another dimension. That was my guess.
Yes,
or another timeline.
Yes, I took on a real 9 to 5 job, so that's why I've not been really seen out in the community too much.
Well, it was nice that you messaged me last minute here.
Yeah.
I've been putting off the show, and then I went, well, he's busy. I'll do it myself. But it's cool that you're here. Listen.
Thank you.
So why were you at this suicide forest? Why did you go there? Or what were the circumstances? Did you just purposefully go there?
No. Well, first of all, I love Japan and the culture, the people. I've basically spent about a year of my entire life living in Japan.
Cool.
So I started to get a little accustomed to the culture there. And I would say Japan is like a second home to me. I love it there. And I have a friend who lives near Mount Fuji. And he's a hiker. He loves hiking. So one of the first times I was there, he's like, okay, let's go hiking around. There's a lot of trails around Mount Fuji.
So
And
you
it
didn't know
was,
what you were getting into at first?
I did not know what I was getting into. I just thought I was going for a nice hike. And we're going through the forest, and it was not a really good day. It was very foggy out. So you couldn't actually see 10 feet ahead of you. It was like the movie The Mist, right?
Oh,
So we're
wow.
so we're walking through this very eerie, almost like in a fantasy movie, walking through this forest. And he just happens to mention to me, these trails at the base of Mount Fuji, this is considered suicide forest where we're hiking. He
Great.
just dropped it on me, right?
Sounds like a fun outing for the day. We're going to go hiking in a suicide forest
Yes.
in the middle of a
And
foreign country.
exactly. And see, I've heard about suicide forest, but I didn't understand exactly where it was. And you have to understand Mount Fuji itself is so massive. It's like
Hmm.
it's bigger than a city.
It's like
Just Mount
Everest or
Fuji.
something. It's huge, right?
It's huge. And just to give you an example of how huge this is, just to get to the base of the mountain where you start hiking, you have to drive up the mountain by car about 30 to 40 minutes up the mountain.
Wow, yeah.
Then you go and you buy a bus ticket, and then
So
the
it's a
bus
journey
takes
even
you.
just to get to the base of this thing, right?
That's right. And then the bus up the mountain is about 30 minutes. So you're in it about an hour. You're driving up the mountain for about an hour just till you get to the place where the tourists go, where you start to hike up the Mount Fuji trails, which is absolutely beautiful. But around the base of Mount Fuji is a massive forest. It's beautiful nature there. It's really stunning. And there are trails and tourist sites all around the base of that mountain. And people use those trails um, as a place to go if they want to commit suicide. So it's not a very specific area. It's not a very specific trail. There are more popular sites, but people go in anywhere around the base of this mountain. So it's a very large area.
Yeah, and you sent me some really eerie pictures, and one of them is really kind of sad. I'm gonna share my screen here. This is just let me share my screen so I can show people, and you can explain what the because when you told me what this one picture was, I was just sad. It's just
Yeah.
really sad. One second. Let's see if we can't get this working. Okay. So this is the picture that I thought was incredibly sad. We see some shoes here being left right in front of a trail. Can you explain what that's about for my
Yes.
viewers?
Yes. Well, this is actually near a tourist site called the Ice Caves. And this is at the base of Mount Fuji. And you go into the forest and you actually pay. I don't remember how much it was. It was pretty inexpensive, maybe like $2 or $3 US. And you could actually go into the forest to these underground caves that were just filled with ice. Um, and this was a parking lot that we parked into, and there was a couple entrances into the forest in that parking lot. And so we park the car and get out, and I look down in front of the car, and there's a pair of women's shoes. And I'll tell you, I was very naive at the time. I didn't understand it. And I went to my Japanese friend and I said, somebody left their shoes there at the entrance to that trail. And he looked at me and he just said, he goes, no, when people go to commit suicide, they'll leave their shoes at the entrance of where they go into so someone will know that there is a body waiting for them down that trail.
Yeah, that's really sad. That's really
So
sad. So do you think the body was still in there when you guys were there?
absolutely, because this is your fresh pair of shoes, completely fresh. People come and look for these things. So these are signs that somebody's in there
Somebody's
taking
in
their
there. Yeah.
life.
Wow.
And another thing that you see in there, which I did see, they take string with them. It's very straight. They take string. So some of them when they go into these trails, they'll actually tie string up to the trees as they go into the forest. So
So
that the
somebody has a guide to find them in their body.
That's right. That's right. So you'll see
It's
this. And
equally disturbing and scary. So anytime you see string, you're going to know that somebody put that there right before they killed themselves. And most people hang themselves there, right? From a
yes,
tree.
yes. I fortunately I didn't see anything like that. But the thing that really blew my mind about this was next to a tourist site where there's tons of children. So this is a
Wow.
parking lot entrance next to a tourist site by the base of the mountain. And what my friend was telling me is that there are so many different entrances to this forest that people choose. But this is a very popular one because there's so many families and people here that they can find them very easily.
Wow. Here, and here's some other pictures here that you shared with me that are equally just eerie. Just eerie. This looks like looking
Yes.
up a hill.
No, there are caves
Oh, it's a
here.
cave.
So I
Yeah.
was actually walking down into a cave, and that's the forest above my head. So it's like you're going into the underworld of this forest. This forest is actually really incredible. It's an active volcano. It's a volcano.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
read that the floor of this entire forest is volcanic rock, so you can't really dig
Yes.
into it.
Yes, it's very interesting, the whole layout of this forest. And there's geothermal vents and hot springs all through this forest. So you
Oh,
could
so
be
it's an
walking.
active volcano still. It's
Yes.
still somewhat active, right?
Oh, yeah. So you can walk in the forest and you'll see like steam coming up from the ground.
Oh, and it's
It's
a suicide
really,
forest. That's really, really kind of scary. And there's
it is very dense. It's very scary. And the thing that's interesting is because of the volcanic minerals and the active what is it? The active volcanic flow underneath this mountain. You get intense geomagnetic anomalies. So if you have a compass out, you could be walking and the compass just changes direction. You know,
Yeah, that's a
so
little weird. That is definitely weird. I've read about this. There's a lot of magnetic anomalies all around this. And do you think that's caused by, I thought people were claiming that's caused by some kind of paranormal activity. You think it's just because of the magnetic or because of the magma under the ground? Maybe it's
it's
iron or something?
no, it's 100% because it's a volcano, and
Okay.
because of the rich metals in that ground, and because of the flow of the magma underneath this earth, um, it creates all sorts of magnetic anomalies that can be measured.
And
Um,
it messes with GPS, it messes with satellites, or I'm sorry, it messes with cell phones. I've heard that batteries just, maybe that part is paranormal. I've heard that like cell phone batteries die, camera batteries die when you walk into this forest, like electronics stop working, batteries die. That's really strange.
and there's lots of active hot springs there. I actually been to one with Monica. It was beautiful. Very hot water comes out of this ground. But this magnetic anomaly, um, I believe, because I actually felt it afterwards, there was some type of noticeable effect that it does cause issues with our brains. It
Well, it's
changes
pretty
our
well known. Isn't it well known that magnetic fields can cause, hallucinations, auditory and visual, or just
yes.
vision impairment? It can cause balance problems if the magnetic fields are strong enough. So maybe that's something to do with some of these strange effects in there that people feel. I've heard that people feel these strange effects. Did you feel that way when you were there?
I did. I had a very strange sensation. I felt like heat in my body and on my skin. And then even days afterwards, even like a week after being there, it was like I felt my ear, like the earlobe. It was like burning. It was like very hot, like you got a sunburn or something.
That's
And it
very
just kept
strange.
burning for a week. And I did have, let's say, like some psychic experiences, like enhanced dreams, things like that afterwards. And I just felt generally weird. And they actually tell you that spending time in this area could actually make you go crazy.
Yeah, the magnetic fields could mess with your brain, I guess, right?
Yes, so there is something there. We can call it paranormal, but I really think that just the Earth itself there is very unique, and it can cause issues with altered states of consciousness, hearing voices, time slips, getting lost, disoriented. You hear stories of people going into the forest and actually being called into the forest, like they
Yeah, that's
just
odd,
go in and
especially
get lost.
it's especially odd. There's a few more pictures here that you sent me. Uh, this one, or
Oh
one
yeah,
more
that
picture here.
yeah, it's
This
just showing
looks
you
looks
how
pretty
dense this
scary.
forest is.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
dense.
So, and everything looks the same. This is the strange thing. It's like you can walk for an hour and it still looks like this.
Yeah. Easy to get lost in there, right?
Very easy to get lost. So that's why I believe they take the string as well, so people could find them if they want to be found. And it's very sad. I was hearing stories. There is a very long history of people going into this forest. It's not a new thing. Even
Sure.
hundreds of years ago, during like strife, famine, wartime, when people were sick or elderly, a lot of them decided just to walk into that forest.
They didn't want to be a burden to the rest of their tribe or family. I've read stories about that too. Really, really, this is just this kind of strange place. One of the most mysterious. I wanted to do this series on mysterious places, and this was top of my list because it's so fascinating. And also, I think that, like you were saying, with this molten magma under the ground, could be causing all these magnetic, you know, anomalies, which could be the cause of something. Do you think people go there with the intention, though, to kill themselves, or do they get in there and then make that decision? Or I guess maybe it's a mix. And what are the Japanese people that you talk to? What is their attitude towards this place?
I would say it's pretty benign. They are very aware of it. Sometimes people will go into the forest to contemplate suicide. So they'll just go and they'll sit in the forest, and a lot of times they'll actually leave. They'll come back out uh, with wanting to live a better life. But what I noticed is when you're living in the cities of Tokyo, or like the big mega cities in Japan, um, people are very isolated in this technological, mass population density world. I feel like a lot of them are lonely. A lot of
Sure.
them have a disconnection. Many of them really believe their identity is their job. They work not 9 to 5, they work from like 6 in the morning till 10 at night. Like
Yeah,
their
that's
job
kind
is
of
their
Asian
life.
culture. I worked for a Chinese man once, and that was the hardest boss I ever had because he just expected me to work 14-hour days every day. And like somebody else that worked there was American like me, and basically he was older than me, and he had to complain to the owner of the company, like, listen, you can't work American people like you work Asian people. We're just not used to
Yes.
that. We're not built for that. We do 8 and we're done, you know? And he would work 6 days a week, 15 hours a day, and expect everybody, if something didn't get done, you're not going away for the weekend. You're coming in here Saturday at 6 a.m. and getting this order done, you know? That's their culture.
Yes.
It's just work, 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 work.
It is, and it really blew me away. Like I have friends that work in corporate offices there, and they would work all day, and then we would go out with people in the company. We'd go out to dinner, and we would drink and have fun, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's 11 o'clock at night. I got to go back to the office to finish up the things for tomorrow."
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it is kind of their culture. Um,
You think it burns a lot? I think it burns a lot of them out, right? And maybe they have psychological issues, and there's a higher suicide rate among some Asian populations because of that work life
and because
balance
of
that's
the
missing.
Yeah, and because of the pressure, I see a lot of stress and pressure associated with job and their place in society, and um, it's sad. There was I'll have to find this link to you, but what I found very sad was because this is such a huge problem. in Japan, they've created these holographic, almost like AI
Girlfriends and wives.
girlfriends.
Yeah,
Yes, and they're like in these little glass things, like a Tinkerbell type of thing,
I've
and
seen that, and it's a little creepy. And people are marrying those things.
they call you, they send you texts, they know when you're coming home. Like the thing talks to you all day long.
That's a little weird. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they look like
it's
Japanese
so
anime girls, right? They look
yes.
like sort of pretty Japanese anime girls, and they have an AI, and they get to know their owner, and they get smarter. All me with computer science, I'm always reading about stuff like this. So these things get smarter the longer you interact with them, and they
Yes.
remember things you told them, music you like, movies you like, and they become a companion, an artificial one, of course, but and guys are marrying them in Japan, which is
It's
bizarre.
absolutely well, it's not bizarro when you start to like live in that society and see that there's no friends. A lot of people are very alone and they live in very small confined spaces
Little apartments,
and
yeah.
little apartments. So they come home to very little. So it adds a lot of depression in that society. So that's what they've created to try to help these people through the loneliness. Plus the culture, it's very rich in like honor and respect, and but sometimes it could be quite a harsh society. It's very cold. So to
Yeah,
be
I
an
could see that.
outsider,
Yeah, I could definitely
yes.
see that. And so you spent how long did you actually spend in the forest? How much time did you spend actually in this suicide forest?
Well, when we hiked Mount Fuji, it was the entire day.
Okay.
Um, the hike would be a couple hours, like to go through the base.
Hmm.
So I didn't spend that much time there. I've been there in two separate occasions.
Did you
Two
have
separate
any? Did you
occasions.
feel like killing yourself at all while you were there?
No, no.
You
I
didn't
actually
feel
felt
depressed or anything. You just
no.
felt strange.
I just felt strange afterwards, but I was actually really kind of excited to seeing Mount Fuji is quite an amazing thing, and actually we climbed Mount Fuji around this time last August 8th, a year ago. And the crazy thing is that because of the shutdown, I probably would have been there for a month in February, and I would have probably been there in a month in July.
But you had to
So,
cut that short, right?
oh yeah, yeah, I canceled basically every
Everything.
conference, everything.
Yeah, I've
So,
canceled my entire life and started over from scratch. And all of my plans for this 2020 year were just completely scrapped. But the good news is I had the time to do other things like start this show. And you got to do something with your time. I think a
yes,
lot of people are depressed and everybody's having a rough time. And you got to find something to focus on other than the shit show that we're living through, you know?
yes. And you know what? I remembered something, and I think it's a good point. Um, I believe that these magnetic anomalies, especially in the suicide forest and Mount Fuji, um, it brings up a lot of our demons. You know what I mean? It affects people psychologically. So if you're like really holding on to a lot of negative things, or have a lot of secrets in the closet, basically, a lot of regrets, guilt, depression, things like that, when you enter areas that are high in these magnetic anomalies, it actually pushes them right to the surface. So if somebody
That's
is not
scary.
stable,
Yeah, you don't want to be there if you're not psychologically very stable. Lucky for you, and I guess your girlfriend, you guys were both feeling fine before you went in, and it didn't affect you in that manner, at least,
yes,
right?
wife,
I'm
now
sorry.
yes.
Why do I always think it's your girlfriend? I always think it's your girlfriend for some reason. I'm sorry. I apologize to your
No,
wife.
she was in there, and yeah, we were all just happy, just to be on Mount Fuji and exploring. We went into the ice caves there, and we saw a couple other interesting tourist attractions. I'm trying to remember what the other ones were, but I think they were mostly these underground caves. Um,
Amazing. That's amazing life experience. I definitely want to see Mount Fuji someday.
yes, and once you add that other element to it of that this is the place where people go to end their lives. Um, I, it's strange because you actually you have more respect for them. You have more respect for their culture, more respect for that area. That it
Hmm.
is a sacred piece of land. It's more than just a tourist site. It's there is a power or force there that is supernatural, and you have to go with honor and respect, just like that culture. Um, so we
Yes, sir.
tread very lightly when
I'm
we go
glad that
there.
we got to talk to you because I could read a bunch of articles from the internet about this thing, but having somebody that's actually been there is much more valuable to share with our viewers here. And I was just going to mention that, Jason's very busy and has a lot of stuff to do, so he's got to pop right out. If anybody has any quick questions for him in the live chat about this suicide forest, please put them in all caps, and maybe we'll get him to answer just a few questions before he bails. And we might not see him again for 6 months. And if that's the case, And by the way, I need
Yes,
music, Mr. Quitt. Mr. Quitt is
I I haven't been able to even touch my music in a long, long time.
wow.
So
Well, that's
hopefully soon.
that's unfortunate. Yeah, I recently have been trying to play guitar again, and I'm failing miserably at it. So then I started looking into, they have this VSTIs now that are pretty convincing, but I couldn't get those working right or figure those out. So I'm back to practicing again. There's no way around it. You got to just practice to be able to do decent guitar tracks recording wise. So, friends, any
Exactly.
questions? Any questions for Jason Quitt about the Suicide Forest? Please put them in all caps. Otherwise, I guess we'll let you roll out of here.
Well, I'd like to say hello to everybody in the live chat. Some familiar faces.
Yeah, here we have
So
Professor Fez. Lee Veltman is here. Shout out to Jeanette Krasenko. William Pixley is here. Paranormal Hood Jiggy. I saw Keltruth 77. Uh, Let me see. Bunya is here. Out of Mind is here as always. I don't know. Keith Hassmeyer, Carol Utley is here. Shout out to them. Yeah. Okay,
so
here we do have a question from Paranormal Hood Jiggy. I didn't know Jason was a weed smoker. We could have got high together in Cali. No, can you explain to them what it is that you're doing there? Because it's not weed.
I am not smoking weed. I'm smoking a uh, a mix of sacred herbs from Ontario. We call it Kinnicknick.
I
And
want you to send me some of this. I want to try this.
yes, I usually smoke it when we're talking about some pretty creepy things because it's supposed to.
You smoke it every time you're on my show. Oh, but
Well,
the last time we were talking about the hairy man of Alaska. So yeah. Oh, this is an excellent question, and I completely concur. Jason, do you agree that the product called Canadian bacon is in fact just a small circle of ham? It's not
interesting
bacon,
question.
Jason Quit. It's fake
It's
bacon.
not
It's just
bacon.
ham. It's not bacon.
It's like a cold cut slice of ham that has like cornmeal around it, and it's usually served with breakfast, and you could have that and bacon with it. Um,
That's the only way I would want to eat it. If there was a side of bacon with the fake
yes,
Canadian bacon. So yeah,
they
I was in
put that
Canada
with.
once and I didn't know, but they just say bacon on the menu. Don't they just say bacon? They don't say Canadian bacon on the menu. So I got like eggs and bacon and they brought me that and I was like, what the hell is this? This isn't bacon. But I'm American, so I just went, oh, I'll just eat it, It was fine. It's
It's
just not bacon.
you have to eat it with eggs Benedict. That's how you eat it.
Jeanette
So that's
Krasenko
the only
says,
way.
good to see you again, Jason Quitt. Yeah, he's out from under his rock, but he's going right back to his rock, right? You're so
Yes,
busy.
it is because it is past my bedtime already.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have
But to
to.
go back, to paranormal hood, um, it's a medicine, and same with cannabis. It is a powerful spirit plant, and it's something that I've connected with um, since high school.
You got to
So
send me the link to where you can buy that, or you got to send me some. I want to try this. I definitely
sure,
want to try this.
sure,
It's called Kinnicknick.
yes, but I didn't buy this. It was gifted to me by shamans who are actually out in the field gathering this, and that's what kinnick means. Is actually means gathering. So they're gathering the sacred herbs, put it in there, and there you
Interesting.
go.
Yeah, I definitely want to try this. Well, I want to thank you, Jason Quitt, for giving us a first-hand eyewitness account of this Japanese suicide force, because it's so much better than just reading stuff off the internet about it and trying to tell the story of it. It's so much better that we got to talk to you. Thank you for being the first return guest on our show. You did the very first Truth Seekers. Thank you for doing that, and you're back again. And hopefully, we will see you sooner rather than later. But I wish you the best of luck with I know you're busy with all these projects now, which
Gotta
is
stay
good.
busy, right?
You got to stay busy, especially right now.
Exactly. All right. Well, listen. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for hearing my story.
Excellent. Thank you. Good night, Jason.
Night.
And tell your wife I said hi, not your girlfriend. Why do I always say that about? I always call her his girlfriend, and I know my wife would be pissed if somebody said girlfriend instead of wife. You get that ring, you got to have that level of respect. So I apologize to Jason Quitt's lovely, beautiful wife. I don't know what the hell she's doing with him, because, oh man, it's like one of these things is not like the other. I don't know how he landed her. He's probably the world's luckiest man from what I've seen. I just think that. I don't know how that worked out, but yeah, maybe it's his sparkling personality. I don't know. So, friends, our presentation's pretty short tonight. I do have some other stuff on this suicide forest that we can talk about. And that is, again, just some stuff that I found on the internet. It's referred to the suicide forest because it is the most popular site for suicide in all of Japan. In 2003, 105 bodies were found dead in the forest, exceeding the previous record of 78 in 2002. In 2010, police recorded more than 200 people having attempted suicide in the forest, of whom 54 completed the actual act. Suicides are said to increase during March, the end of the fiscal year in Japan. As of 2011, the most common means of suicide in the forest were hanging or drug overdose. In recent years, local officials have stopped publicizing the numbers in an attempt to decrease the forest's association with suicide. This rate of suicide has led officials to place a sign at the forest entry urging suicidal visitors to seek help and not take their own lives. Annual body searches have been conducted by police, volunteers, and journalists since 1970. The site's popularity has been attributed to Saikyo Matsumu's 1961 novel, Nami Noto, Tower of Waves. However, the history of suicide in this forest predates the novel's publication, and the place has long been associated with death. Suicide may have been practiced there into the 19th century, and the forest is reputedly haunted by the Eerie, or spirits of those left there to die. And of course, this has been covered in many forms of media, including anime and manga films, literature, music, and video games. It was the subject of a BBC Radio 4 production, first broadcast 10th of September 2018, in which 4 poets traveled to the forest to write and record poetry in the forest. That's a little creepy. An American playwright of Japanese ancestry, Christine Haruna Lee, wrote and staged a play, Suicide Forest, in New York City in March of 2019. It addressed suicide in America and Japan, referencing the Aokigahara forest. In 2015, there was a film, The Sea of Trees, with Matthew McConaughey, Ken Watanabe, and Naomi Watts, and also tells a story of happening in the forest. The rap collective AO Boys takes its name from Aki Boys takes its name from Aokigahara. So an interesting and mysterious place. I believe that those magnetic anomalies really are contributing to the effects that people are feeling once they are in this forest. It's interesting that magnetic anomalies are known to cause strange effects in human brains. So I don't think it's any coincidence that these strange effects are felt by people. I've read numerous accounts, besides Jason's, of people feeling a strange kind of way once they've entered into the forest. Uh, just a strange and mysterious place. And I wonder, why do so many people choose to go there to kill themselves? Why there? Of all places in Japan, why not at home? Why this strange and mysterious forest? Paranormal Jiggy with a good comment. Yeah, makes sense. What if it was actually serial killers, truth seekers? Could be, but I think that Japan, like us, does autopsies of suspicious deaths. So unless a serial killer is going to like drug somebody to death or hang them from a tree, I guess, yeah, but it could be. I mean, for all we know, there's like the world's most prolific serial killer is in Japan, grabbing people that are hiking or walking through and deciding to kill them. That is very, very strange and an interesting possibility. Paranormal Hajigi. Out of Mind is sharing my PayPal. Yes, you too, friends, can donate a few dollars to help the show along. Any help is sincerely appreciated. I have all but decided that here we grow again. We broadcast, and I do all the research for the show, and I do all the video editing and the music and audio editing. Pretty much everything is done here from this tiny little office in my house. And I'm contemplating moving. We have a guest room that has been unfinished since we moved here 2 years ago. There's probably twice the size of this room. Contemplating moving our show there to have more room. We may actually do that. And that may be a way that we can grow because I can have multiple sets there besides just this. We have this looks bigger than it is. It's just a little backdrop, and it's very, I have to keep the cameras cropped pretty tight. I would much prefer something where I could be like shown sitting at a desk from a distance sometimes. And I don't know. So we're working on maybe moving to a larger studio area to do the show. So, friends, if you have any questions or comments for me in the live chat, please put them in all caps, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. I guess we're going to do sort of, sometimes we don't have a lot of time for the live chat, and we kind of ram through an hour or hour and 20-minute long presentation, and then really we have a 2-hour limit because of YouTube streaming limits and things like that. So tonight, for once, we're way ahead of the game, and we should be able to give much more attention to the live chat. Also, I have to find it, but the phone is around here somewhere. We have not had, oh, here it is. We have not had open phone lines for quite some time. So I'm going to play the opening the phone lines bumper. If anybody would like to call in, they can do so. Friends, you can call in and talk to us, especially interested in anybody calling in that's actually been to this Japanese suicide forest, which is our topic for this evening. But if you have any story you'd like to share about a paranormal experience you had, seen some ghosts, saw a UFO, were abducted by aliens, any strange or paranormal experience that you have, we like it when our viewers call in and share their experiences. And you too can do that. All are welcome here. So we're going to open the phone lines, friends. For the first, we haven't done this in quite a long time. So we're going to open the phone lines. If anybody would like to call in, please do so. And we're going to play this bumper here to open the phone lines. The number will be listed. Let's open the phone lines, friends. So we're going to have open lines for the rest of the show. Here we go. And we are back, friends, and the lines are open. I'm going to turn my attention back to the live chat and just a bit of business to get out of the way. Um, I started to realize um, that I have an incredible backlog of shows planned for our show here. And I realized that it's going to take me quite a long time to get through them all if we stay with the current, I guess, 4 shows a week, which I've committed to. So I'm willing to do more. But the only way to really do that, I suppose, is to start doing some daytime streams. And I'm curious, would you be available and interested in taking part in a daytime stream? Like sometime in the afternoon, maybe at like 1 or 2 p.m. I'm not a morning person, so that would probably be the only time that I would have available to do a daytime stream would be 1 or 2 p.m. I would like to at least try to get through some of this tremendous backlog. I was going through. I have a folder, called Truthseekers on this main computer here, and I suppose I suppose that I start to realize just how many shows that I have sort of prepped and loaded to go, and I'm anxious to get through some of them because there's just some incredible stories that I have planned to share with you, and it appears to me that uh, I would like it when somebody finds the YouTube channel that there is much more material, many more shows there to show sort of the breadth and scope of the things that we cover here. The Midnight Hour largely focused only on UFOs, really. I mean, we did a few other shows, but mostly it focused on UFOs. This show, I think we're kind of casting a little bit of a wider net, and we're covering a lot of different strange and mysterious subjects. I guess I got burned out of the UFO thing and I wanted to cover a lot of other strange and mysterious subjects. So let me know in the live chat if you would actually be interested in the daytime show. Some people, maybe they work late or, they have to go to bed early and it's difficult. I've heard a few people say, I'm too old to stay up to catch your shows live, so I catch them on the repeat. Maybe more people would be available during the day. You know, uh, yeah. Keith Henswire says, sure. Yeah, so maybe we'll try to do that. Maybe we will try the daytime, a daytime show, and just see how it goes. If we get the same sort of participation level, I don't see any reason why I couldn't do a day show once in a while. Out of Mind says I would be available most days. Good, yeah. Then we're definitely going to give it a shot because I've got a bunch of shows locked and loaded. Oh, Bunya says it's 1 p.m. here in Australia. Yeah, so I guess they are daytime shows for some people. We're worldwide. I always forget that. It's easy to forget that there's such a time zone difference. I have a friend who lives in China. He's an American living in China, and I can't remember what the time zone. It's crazy difference though, like that. It's like, it's the middle of the day when I'm streaming, and he catches it in the morning, I think, like 10 a.m. or something like that. Spooky says I should be a guest and talk about being spooky. It's a hard life. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we'll be moving to doing some daytime streams just so I can try to take advantage of I really am kind of proud of the job that I did prepping some of the shows because I have basically like a folder, and each folder has things to share, things to talk about for each subject, and you know those are they're locked and loaded and they're ready to go, and I don't see a reason to not start pumping them out at a faster rate. I think that may help grow the channel as well. I've noticed that if I take like this last week, I took a few days off for the weekend. I had a full cabin. We had like 5 guests or something at the cabin over last weekend. Really, no way for me to do a show. Uh, there's only 2 rooms in the cabin, and there was people everywhere. And even outside, I tried to get the Wi-Fi, wouldn't reach to the back of the cabin. So, but I noticed that when I take days off, especially 3, 4 days off in a row, the numbers just don't move. The subs don't go up. Nothing really changes. But if I'm doing these shows every day consistently, it seems like you can see maybe it's the subject matter that I'm covering that night, and somebody finds us because of the subject matter and then subscribes. It just appears to me that the more that we pump out the shows, the quicker the numbers are rising. And I don't want to get complacent and start, taking too many days off. Hail the mighty YouTube algorithm. It wants consistency. It demands your attention. And if you give it to it, it will reward you, I think. So, yeah, we may be increasing our output here to try to increase the numbers. Cal Truth says it's 7:50 p.m. here in Cali, so your shows are always during dinner and grocery shopping and all that, but I make it work. And thank you for being here, and thank you for making it work. Actually, I think if we stream at 1 or 2, that would be like 11 a.m. or 10, 11 a.m. your time, 3 hours behind, right? You're on the West Coast, Cal Truth 77, I believe. Okay, let's see. Keith Hasmeyer says, I went through withdrawal over the weekend. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you. That makes me feel good. But, I guess the flip side of the coin is that I don't want to just overload everyone with way too much, new shows constantly, and then people will have a hard time keeping up if they want to watch every one. You just, don't know. BG says the same thing. I missed the shows over the weekend too. Thank you. That makes me feel good that you guys miss me when I'm gone. There's an old saying in show business: always leave them wanting more. So looks like that's working. Good on you, Keith. Are you all right? Bunya reminded me. I think Bunya, didn't you study theology? Bunya asked yesterday if I would be interested in covering Catholic mysteries, Christian mysteries, and Catholic mysteries, specifically things like Fatima, Our Lady of Lourdes, and sort of the Catholic sort of paranormal side of things. And one of my favorite stories is Padre Pio. So, Bunya, today I prepped a show for Padre Pio, and I was almost going to do it tonight, but I think I need a little more time to gather, source material. Padre Pio is an amazing story. For those that don't know, Padre Pio had what's called in Catholicism the stigmata, which means that he, at one point in his life, he got the crucifixion scars of the Christ on his body, and they would bleed at certain times. And strange thing this stigmata is. But Padre Pio, it's just an incredible story. Padre Pio could talk to demons and angels. He could heal the sick. Padre Pio is an amazing story, and I can't wait to bring it to you. So, Bunya, yeah, I am going to bring us some Catholic mysteries, and also, I've always been fascinated with the whole Catholic thing about saints and their bodies not decomposing. Incorruptibility. So we're going to do a show on saints whose bodies do not rot for some reason. That's one of the qualifiers for becoming a saint in the Catholic Church, is that your body is incorruptible, which means after the saint dies, their body does not decay or rot like a normal human body would. Some say that's because they have the touch of God, or so that their body is still I guess there for the second coming when they rise again. It's a strange and mysterious thing. Bunya says, cool, thanks, Steve. I love all that stuff too. Yeah. And he says that my mom loved Padre Pio. Yeah, most Catholics are familiar with Padre Pio. People who aren't Catholic, maybe not so much, but he was a very interesting man. And Professor Fez says he looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, he did. He actually did he looks like an old wizard, right? And that's one of the interesting stories that we have coming up, and we have many more to come, I think. So Jason Albert says Baltic Sea anomalies. That's on my list, Jason Albert. I will do that one just for you soon. We'll and listen, if I've already got a show locked and loaded and somebody mentions that they'd like to see a show about that, I will move the order. In other words, Jason Albert just asked about Baltic Sea anomalies. I'm going to make a note right now. And Jason Albert, just for you, the Baltic Sea anomaly show I was already planning is getting bumped up to the front of the line. So I want to make the viewers here happy. So if you want to see a certain show, write it in the live chat, or a certain topic covered. Please write it in the live chat. And if I don't have it, I'll put it on my list. And if I already have it on my list, I'll bump up that show that you want to see to the front of the lines. These shows will be super cool. Yeah, I think that we've got a lot of cool stuff planned, and things continue to improve here. I'm thankful to see, to see growth, to see. I've been using the analogy that every day I come here and I water my garden, and that garden is going to grow, and it's continuing to grow. So I'm often just blown away by the support that we're getting and gaining, and it feels like we're really gaining steam here, which is good, because you can get very discouraged when those numbers don't move. I mean, I think I would do this even if only one person was watching, but I think that it is nice to gain a larger audience. Bunya says, they say Padre Pio and Malachi Martin were privy to the third secret of Fatima. I have heard that. I heard that that nun involved with that had a special relationship with Padre Pio. They were very close friends, so she may have shared the third secret of Fatima. And there's a whole Bunya, I can do a whole show just on the conspiracy surrounding the third secret of Fatima. That's a whole show. For those that don't know, there was sort of three messages that were delivered through this little girl who later became a nun when the Blessed Mary appeared to them at Fatima, her and her sisters. Her other two sisters passed away, but she survived to be a very old woman. And the third secret of Fatima was supposed to be opened at a certain time, according to the Blessed Mother. The Pope, for one reason or another, chose not to share it with the public. Later, when the third secret was revealed, it didn't make any sense, and there's been all kinds of conspiracy theories about what the third secret really was, and people claim that the Catholics lied, the Pope lied about what the third secret was. It couldn't have been what they said it was when it did finally come out. Martin claimed to be, but swore he would never reveal it. Horrible Hairy Toes, I don't believe that we have seen you here before. And if you are new, then welcome to our little spot on the internet here. I'm glad to see some new faces and new people here in the live chat. Welcome, Horrible Hairy Toes, with an excellent comment. Yeah, I believe that Malachi Martin did claim that he knew it, but he swore he would never reveal it, which is strange because the Catholic Church revealed it. But that's more indication that what the Catholic Church revealed was not the actual secret. And Horrible, it also says Martin saw the letter. Yeah. Tell truth. Have you ever heard of a show called Channeling Eric? No, but I'll check it out because it sounds like a cool topic. Yes, and Adeline says, please click the thumbs, sub, and share. Absolutely. There's a few ways you can support us and the show here. Of course, the first way is by financially. You can donate with our PayPal donate button that's on the About section of our YouTube channel here, or you can donate by Patreon. And really, all we ask is $1 a month, but it's $1 a month or more. But I realize, times are tough. I don't blame anybody for not having a few bucks to share. The other way that you could support me is perhaps more important right now, which is to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. Share them on Facebook, share them on Twitter, share them on Instagram, share them wherever you can. And if you know someone, I'm asking everybody to do this. This has been the most helpful thing that people can do. If you know people that are into these strange and mysterious subjects, please do copy our channel address. If somebody could put it in the live chat, I would very much appreciate it. Copy the live chat, copy our YouTube channel address and email it, DM it, PM it, send it to every friend that you know that likes these strange and mysterious subjects. That would really help us to grow, and I would sincerely appreciate you doing that. See, that's a way that you can help and support our show that won't cost you anything but a few clicks. And Jean-Claude from Beyond Mystic is here, and he says, hello, sexy people. Hi, Jean-Claude. Good to see you here. Jean-Claude, I had to mention to you that legal letter that we talked about is now 2 for 2. I have now sent that off to another copyright claimant. I believe it was National Geographic claimed copyright on a very short clip, a 1:30-second clip that we shared citing fair use. I copied that legal letter to YouTube, and they dropped their copyright claim right away. So that is a very valuable thing to have in case you ever need it. I didn't know it was revealed. Keith, I think you're referring to the third secret of Fatima, and yes, it was, but we don't know. There's all kinds of conspiracies that wasn't really the secret, and it was something else, and yeah, we really don't know. It is said Sister Lucia may be an imposter. Yeah, there's like I said, I can do an entire show just around the conspiracies around the third secret of Fatima, let alone the whole Fatima event, which is crazy in and of itself. And I grew up Catholic, so we got to hear these stories, and I always like stories of, all of these kind of Catholic stories of Catholic mysterious or paranormal events like Fatima or Lady of Lourdes, miracles, saints, and these sort of strange supernatural events that were involved with Catholicism. And isn't it strange how the Catholic Church really, really goes after anything paranormal? Yet they have their own set of paranormal events that you're allowed to believe in because they say it's okay, it's from God and not from Satan, the devil, or a demon, whatever, Kel Truth is saying good night. She's going to spend some quality time with her son, and I don't blame you. Absolutely. Professor Fez. It wasn't the Pope refused to reveal it, thinking it was a hoax. Yeah, majorly the conspiracy around the third secret of Fatima is that the Catholic Church didn't reveal it at the time that the Blessed Mary instructed them to, which, if you ask me, is probably not a good idea to go against the will of the Blessed Mary. But I don't know. The general conspiracy is that they did, and it's not this part's not a conspiracy. They did not reveal the third secret of Fatima when the Mother Blessed Mary instructed them to do so at a certain date. They held it back, and then many years later, they did release it, and everybody, once the third secret was revealed, went, "Why didn't you release this? This is not controversial. This is kind of weird." So the conspiracy theory started that they replaced the third secret with a fake third secret, and the real third secret was about this or that, and it's really a strange story in and of itself. Okay, let's see. People are talking about he who shall not be named in the live chat. I don't even like to use that person's name, guys, because it's like, I don't know, maybe like Bloody Mary, if you say his name, he'll show up. and I don't want him to show up. Yeah, so oh, here we go. Jeanette Krasenko. Malachi Martin's radio shows are on YouTube. Malachi Martin Archives. Yeah, I'm that there's that book of his. It's really, really interesting. I'm going to do a review of that on the show. Malachi really is an amazing character as well. And Bunny says Malachi did some good shows on Coast to Coast. Yeah, I listened to those. Out of mind. Again, I don't want to put your comment up on the screen, but yeah. Why not? Going after everybody else, why should I be any different? Got enough drama in my life right now. But I guess the good news is we were talking about all this Twitter drama and people fighting over nonsense yesterday. It seems like that's kind of calmed down, and I've made my peace with it. People are going to talk. People are going to, you got to remember that we're in conspiracy land. So, like, here's the deal. So, like, apparently a bunch of people were thumbs downing my videos before the stream even started. So then other people said there's like a conspiracy against Steve's show, and these people are conspiring against him, and they're winding up people, and they were blaming some other show host or some other content producer, and like there's all this drama. But luckily, I think that that's behind us now, and we can focus on better things because it's all nonsense, and there's no value in that. There's really no value in arguing with people or fighting with people. My attitude is like this: if you don't like the show, click off. But I do think it's funny. I think it's funny when the show gets like 7 or 3 or 4. I don't know how many. I think the highest was 7. We had like 7 thumbs down while the stream was waiting to start, and that I think is hysterical. Like, you didn't even wait to see the show before you decided I suck. It's great. It's great. Jason Albert, all your content is awesome. I love it, Steve, especially the cabin. Yeah, Jason Albert, I almost had to flip a coin because I'd really, really like to start a channel sort of documenting me building that cabin, but I didn't start at the beginning. So I think that's kind of a problem. And I was going to do like an off-grid channel. Like, how do you, connect a sink when you don't have any water lines coming in? How do you deal with power generation and rainwater collection? Because I'm fascinated with all that stuff. But in the end, this show won over. I only have time to do one YouTube channel. I don't have time for multiples. So yeah, you never know. Jeanette Krasenko, why would anyone thumbs down this show? Well, it would appear. Oh, I went all blurry like Bigfoot for a second there. It would appear that some people don't like when you show factual evidence that some of their heroes are selling fake stories. And interestingly, these people, they never, all this drama and people attacking my show or attacking me personally, they never proved me wrong on the facts I presented. They just went after me like, you're an asshole, you suck, your show sucks, look, your numbers are terrible, nobody watches you, all this shit. But they never go to the facts that I present. Just once, I'd like them to go, you said this about this person, and that's factually not correct, and here's why. Nobody ever does that because I have facts in hand before putting my mouth in gear. Usually, I try to make it a policy to do that. They don't attack the facts we present. They don't attack the evidence I present. They attack me. And that's because they can't generally attack the facts I present because they're facts and they're correct. And Spooky, wait, the truther community is full of paranoid people. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, I think some of them take angry pills. Yeah, people are very upset when look, I get it. If you love a certain, let's just say, figure in this ufology movement or disclosure movement, and then some guy comes along and shows you that they're selling fake shit, and you love that person, you're going to be pissed at the guy that's showing everybody that they're selling fake shit, you know? So, but I'm kind of okay with it. It's just, I decided it comes with the territory. And I'm going to just keep rolling along doing what we do here. Some people may have given you a thumbs down because Adeline and Jeanette are so sassy. Yeah, I'm going to blame that. That's what I'm going to do from now on. You know what? Adeline and Jeanette, it's your fault. It's your fault that people are thumbs down in this shit. And you better do something to help improve the situation. That's what you got to do, friends. If you can't explain it, just blame somebody else for it. So, okay. Let me see. Any more comments here? I'm trying to catch up here, going through your comments. If you have any questions, really put them in all caps. Have mine. Kill the messenger. Can't kill the message. Kill the messenger. And that is really exactly what I think is happening. And I talked to somebody about this today, and who was kind of like going, "Hey, I'm not a part of any of this conspiracy against it." And I go, "Yeah, I know. People are just fucking crazy. People are just fucking crazy. They're seeing shit that's not there, connecting dots that shouldn't be connected. It's crazy." And so, but it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I told that person, and I tell everybody, I'm not gonna try to not become involved in that stuff and just focus on doing good shows. People are never going to be absolutely happy all the time with anything you do. And I know, I've done so many creative, and listen, I'm proud of almost everything that I've done creatively in my life. I had a vision to do something, whether it was an album or an illusion show, whatever I decided I was going to do creatively. And look, it takes passion and power and dedication and a lot of personal sacrifice and power to do that thing. I have never regretted anything that I've ever done. I've done my very best to bring those visions into reality, to manifest them into the real world. Some people have zero ability to do that, and they hate people that do. It just comes with the territory. Out of mind says, no, it's Jason's fault. Yeah, I'm going to start blaming Jason for shit just around my house. Like, cut the grass. I was going to cut the grass, but then I got kidnapped by an interdimensional time traveler named Jason Quitt, and he took me to another dimension, so I couldn't cut the grass. Paranormal Jiggy, it's all noise. Yeah, and you were involved in some of this back and forth shit, and like, well, you said Jiggy said this, and it's all nonsense. It's all noise and nonsense, Jiggy. And I don't know, Yeah. Yeah, and Jiggy's kind of like, you're like a really upfront, you're not like, I think part of the problem is that a lot of these people are like back and forth in DMs and PMs, and now they're like, I think some people are like threatening to publish the DMs and PMs and all this shit, and they're like playing chicken with each other. I'm going to publish the shit that you said. Well, and I'll publish the shit that you like. It's all just ridiculous. And at least Jiggy, I will say, is a pretty upfront person. He's not going to say something in a DM or a PM that he wouldn't say publicly out loud to whoever's listening. That's kind of the way that I am. I don't know, but it is what it is, friends. See, we have some comments already on the. Yeah, I said we're going to do a whole show. Look, here we go with these mean comments, right? I published this, Bob Lazar's educational credentials destroyed. It is filled with, it's got to be 30 to 50 data points proving that Bob Lazar lied and completely and totally made up his entire educational credentials, right? And here's some of the comments that we're getting on that video. Again, they're not attacking the 30 to 50 data points that we present that are factually correct, because they can't, and they're facts, and they're factually correct. So here's the comments we're getting. Truthseekers, wow, you're among the morons. Okay, kill the messenger because you don't like the message. There's 30 to 50 data points in that short video. That video is 11 minutes long. There's probably closer to 50. I haven't counted them, but there's probably 50 data points proving that Bob Lazar is a complete and total liar about his education. Do they go after those data points and prove my data and research wrong? Of course not. They just say, wow, you're among the morons. Here's another one. Lame arguments across the board. I will debate anyone who thinks he is lying. List your best arguments here on why you think he's lying. What is your best evidence? Well, actually, that's not so bad, I guess. But am I really going to debate somebody who thinks he's not lying? And how am I supposed to listen? There's so much data and evidence and proof that Bob Lazar is lying. I can't type it out in a YouTube comment reply. I just can't do that. So actually, I'm just going to address him here. MB, you made this comment. Lame arguments across the board. I will debate anyone who thinks he's lying. List your best arguments here. Why you think he is lying. What's your best evidence? You've got 50 data points right there in that video, MB. So if you want to debate on those, you have to prove 50 data points or so, I don't know the exact number, in that Bob Lazar's Educational Claims Destroyed video. Take all those data points, every factual statement made in there by all those people that contributed to that video, including Stanton Friedman, Linda Moulton Howe, we have Michael Schratt, George Knapp, and Bob Lazar himself. You can show me where all those data points are factually not correct in that video. You want to debate? Fine. There's your start. Show me where all those data points are wrong. His education is a fraud. He started the story with this fake claimed educational credentials. Let me ask everybody a question. If somebody starts telling you a story, and in the first line of their story, you know they lied through their teeth, are you going to believe anything else they say for the rest of that story, especially when the claims get more and more fantastic? The guy can't even verify his education. It's ridiculous. Professor Fez, can you do a Man Dan response to comments video? I'm not sure what you mean, Professor Fez, but if you explain it and it's something that I can do, I want to make everybody happy. So, please do. Let me know what you mean by that. Man Dan. Do you mean Dan Bankert? Response to comments? I don't know. Spooky, it's all stupid. I refuse to get involved anymore. I think spooky means about all the drama. Yeah, but and then the other comment that I'm getting constantly is, you look stupid with those glasses. Again, I have third nerve palsy. It's from a brain aneurysm. I'm sorry if you don't like the glasses. It's this or a pirate patch. So, and again, if you don't like if you don't like my show, just click off of it. There's thousands of other shows, It's crazy. Yeah, back to about that suicide forest. Actually, Jean-Claude, we had somebody that has been there in person tonight in the form of Jason Quitt, and he told some amazing stories about actually visiting this Japanese suicide forest. You can sort of, I guess, rewind later to catch up on that. We did a very short presentation tonight. Jason Albert, you'll never make everyone happy. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. PG's telling him to fuck off, Steven. Yeah. Listen, do you see me smiling, BG's? When I get these comments, I just laugh because, again, they're not attacking the evidence. They're attacking me. You're going to call me a moron, but you can't refute the facts we presented, then maybe you're the fucking moron, right? BG's judging judges. Yeah. Keith Hassmeyer, I would like to see some pirate patches. You know what? I may switch to one for some shows, because there are some shows when I have to read a lot more. And I have stuff I don't like to, as far as research materials go, I like to go to books, right? I like to go to books because a lot of things, you can't just find everything on the internet. Sometimes things are just in books and they're not on the internet. So I have books where I have bookmarks in them and I have the stuff highlighted. It's very difficult for me to read small printed text with these glasses on. So it's either copy it with a copier and blow it up so that my vision impairment doesn't, or, all these things I have to do so I can read from the books easier, or I just wear the pirate patch. So for some of the shows coming up, yeah, you may get the pirate patch, friends. Genocide. I vote eye patches. Eye patches are cool. Yeah, and it could be like that. Who's that one senator? Is it Dan Crenshaw, maybe? He's got a pirate patch, and he's got different, like sometimes he has an American flag, sometimes he has Don't Tread on Me flag, or, some other symbol, and I think they're magnetic, and he changes them. Pirate patches are kind of cool. Yeah, play the ball, not the person. Absolutely. My mate loves the sunglasses. Yeah. The glasses make you extra cool with X-ray bullshit vision. Yeah, maybe that's what these are. Maybe these people don't understand, but these are X-ray bullshit glasses and allow me to see through UFO and paranormal bullshit better than a normal human could. Oh, he loved the Wilcock mask too. Yeah, BG's. I worked hard on that. You know how hard it was to do that on a budget of nothing? I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this on a budget of nothing? Thank God I found something off the shelf which could be modified, and we adapted and overcome. Right, BG's? That's what we have to do. Oh, let's see. Got to head to the store. Got to head to the store. Fogs need food. Okay. Gunnar Gulker says maybe Dolan sells paranormal eye patches. Yeah, maybe he does. You never know. He sells all this other bullshit with his name slapped on it. Maybe I can get a Richard Dolan eye patch, right? Oh my God, that's actually funny. You know what I could do? I could wear the eye patch, but I could print out like pictures of people. Like, and if I'm spitting venom, like spitting venom at like David Wilcock, we'll put a David Wilcock picture of his face on my eye patch, and if it's Dolan that night, we'll put a picture of Dolan on the eye patch. That would be funny as hell. Wilcock mask was epic funny. Yeah, David Wilcox may be appearing on our show again. I've done some testing trying to figure out how I can interview David Wilcox live. Well, let's just say I figured out how I can interview David Wilcox, and we're going to be presenting that soon. Okay. What's up with Sarah Adams, part 3? I messaged Sarah Adams 4 or 5 times. She never got back to me until yesterday. And yesterday she told me that she recently had surgery and she can't even talk. So she wants to, of course, delay doing the interview. And I can't blame her if she's got some kind of medical issue going on. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave her alone for a few weeks. Got plenty of other shows to do. But eventually, I'm going to do that with or without her participation. I'm going to give her a few more weeks and see how she's feeling, if she's up to doing the interview. Hopefully, we'll be able to conclude that soon. Yeah, friends. So, tonight was a little bit of a shorter presentation and I guess a little bit of a shorter of a show. But that's okay. I don't want to just fill the show for 2 hours if there's not material to do that. KB, yeah, I probably agree with you, but I don't want to be nasty. If she's actually having medical issues, God bless her. I hope she's feeling better and can do the interview eventually. It's, she doesn't have any obligation to do the interview, but she agreed to it originally. So we'll see if she's not feeling better in the next few weeks. Hopefully, and be up to doing part 3. That's probably the most requested thing from viewers is people want to see this part 3 and see what it is that she's up to, or see what the conclusion of the investigation into the strange case of Sarah Adams is going to be. I have a lot of material to cover, on her and sort of making a conclusion. So Baz is here. I'm not sure that I've seen you here before, Baz, and if not, welcome. If you like these sort of strange and mysterious topics, you have found a good place to visit and a good group of people to hang out with. Welcome to Baz. If you have not already, please do like, comment, and subscribe. We'd like to see you back again. You're kind of reaching us right at the end of the broadcast, but that's what replays are for. And please check out the rest of the shows on our channel. If you like this kind of material, you may enjoy some of our previous shows. Yeah, first time. He says, first timer, thank you. Yeah, welcome, Bass. Good to see. I'm always glad to see a few new faces. It seems like every show we see a few new faces in the live chat. And I'm even happier when I see them return for a second dose of Truthseekers. So welcome, first timer Baz. We are glad that you have found us here. So, friends, like I was saying, some of the shows I also decided that if there's not like a ton of material to cover, we don't need to do the full 2 hours. We'll just call it a night at whatever time we wrap up on. I wanted to spend more time talking to you guys there in the live chat today because, like I said, sometimes I feel like, I'm not giving enough time to the live chat because we go over on some of the presentations. Some of them that's just the way it goes. So I guess we're gonna wrap things up here. I want to thank my surprise guest tonight. I had no idea that he was gonna pop in like that, but luckily through this technology is amazing. He messaged me on Twitter and says, "Hey, I can join the show if you want for a little while." Great. So I sent him a link and he pops right in here. Didn't know that was going to happen. I just wanted to get this show off my to-do list. We've been putting it off while waiting for him to have the time. He's very busy, and I really appreciate that he noticed that we were doing the show on that and said, let me message Steve and pop in. And I'm so glad that I had my Twitter up so that I got that message, because sometimes I just don't monitor that very well. I got to say, Jason's a good guy, and I'm glad to call him hopefully a friend of the show. We hope to have him back soon, sooner rather than later, But we've all sort of gotten different priorities, I suppose, now. A lot of us have different priorities now, and his is focused on this sort of day job that he's been doing. I wish him the best of luck and success in all his future endeavors. I'm glad that we could get him to pop in here. That was awesome and unexpected. So I got so happy when he said he could come in, because I went, great. I wanted him because he's an eyewitness to this Japanese suicide forest. He's been there. That's so much better than just telling people the story about it. Here's an eyewitness, and we were able to bring that to you guys, our viewers. And what an awesome thing that is, right? Yes, Jean-Claude makes an excellent point. Would it be possible for you to post your live stream notices a few days in advance? Also write the date in your movie posters. Helps people arrange their schedules. Good suggestion, and I'm going to try that. But honestly, I saw yours, and it looks confusing to me. Like, you have all these live streams planned on your show, and then I don't know, what happens if you got to reboot your, well, I guess you can get back into StreamYard and they're still there, right? But you schedule yours and they're already on your channel. So yeah, maybe, you know what, Jean-Claude, I'm going to try that going forward. I can't do it right away, but next week, all of next week's shows, I'm going to put on the channel, and I'll put in the description the time they will be, and I will put the time on the thumbnail, right? That's a very good suggestion, Jean-Claude, and I appreciate the value of your advice and experience, because I don't know, Jean-Claude, I think, didn't you have like 200 people in your live chats, right? Or more. So amazing. Yeah, I will follow your advice. Absolutely. You do. You know how to do this better than I know how to do this, Jason. Or Jean-Claude. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just, do what I think is best, do the best that I think I can do. Didn't think to schedule them in advance until I saw your channel and all those live streams you have scheduled. Could be a good time. Keith Hasmeyer says, tomorrow is 1 hour later, right? Yes. On Thursday, we do a show at 11 p.m. So tomorrow night's show is going to be at 11 p.m., but I may do an early stream and the 11. We're definitely doing the 11 p.m. show tomorrow night, but there may be 2 shows tomorrow. I may try to do the daytime show and then do the 11 p.m. show. It really depends, because I also have to cut the grass. And have a lot of things on my list. Well, it's really my wife's list, but you know, no, I have a lot of things. I've got some yard work and some other stuff that I got to do tomorrow, and I got to run some errands and things, get some gas for the ride-on tractor to cut the grass and do all this stuff. But I'm hoping that I'm going to get that done pretty quickly and still have time to do. I'm going to try this doing a day stream, but we're definitely going to be on at 11 p.m. tomorrow night Eastern Standard Time. So please do join us. Well, friends, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. Remember, it's Truth Seekers, and I am just one of them. We're all taking this journey together. I, for one, really do have an attitude of gratitude that so many people around the world are joining me to join in this journey. I am humbled by your support and your participation in this grand experiment called Truth Seekers. Until next time, friends, I'm Stephen Cambion. God bless and good night.